So that's all jacked up. We've been spending days. Okay, all right, yep.
What should be on the fire station 5?
Now calling to order a regular meeting of the City Council, Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Councilwoman Rogancy,
Here.
Councilwoman McGee. Here. Councilman Dwyer.
Here.
Councilman Boyke.
Present.
Councilman Noonan.
Present.
Councilman Lafferty.
Here.
Councilwoman Moore is present. We have a quorum.
Next item.
Next item is for adoption of the consent agenda. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
yes,
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is adoption of the agenda. So moved with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion. Ms. Moore?
Yeah, thank you. We have a few items to add as 13D, a request from the treasurer to open a money market account with J.P. Morgan Chase. As item 13F, that is an alley request for a public alley vacation located between Globe Avenue and Nagel Street, approximately 100 feet south of 9 Mile Road. And then as item 13G, resolution approving sale and consumption of beer and wine in a city square park at the Birthday Bash, authorizing exemption to Kiwanis Club of Warren, Michigan for the sale. And I think that is it, yep.
Can you repeat the first
Yes.
one, Madam Secretary?
13D is a request from Treasurer Barnwell. And just to clarify on,
We have 13D.
There
we,
is a 13D. Is it 13E?
no, it's 11D, sorry, it's 11D,
Thank you.
sorry. Yeah. I'll correct something when we get there.
Okay.
That's
Any other discussion?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Lafferty?
through the chair to the secretary, the 13F, the alley vacation,
Yes.
is that a proposal for a notice of a public hearing?
No,
Okay. Was there backup transmitted? Okay, I'll hold my questions for that. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, makers of the motion comfortable with those additions, amendments?
yes,
Without objection.
I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
yes,
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
yes,
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 7A, approval of the general revenue fund, so moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes, oh, you know, I'm sorry, can we go back, and I do have a question. I just want to, since we've started in our new budget year, we're on the second week now, and I would ask Mr. Fox, we had some reclassifications, promotions, and wage increases that were approved that were to begin July 1st, and I'm just wondering if all of those have been accomplished, and if not, could you give a report on where we stand with those reclasses and some of those actions that we've approved?
Yeah, Richard Fox, City Controller. Yeah, I can prepare a
Push,
report.
push the button, Mr. Fox. Go ahead.
Is it going now?
It's harder to hear you, but
It's
go ahead.
on. Anyway,
Have you got it on?
yeah, I'd be happy to
Okay,
report
Yeah.
thank you.
for next council
And
meeting.
And I'll ask you another question when we get to the revenue fund, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry to interrupt.
I don't know that that's 100% working, Patrick, but we'll see. Okay,
Oh, yeah. Point
any
of
other
order.
discussion? Mhm.
Point of order, we skipped the calendar of pending matters.
Oh, sorry.
So
Well,
let's
let's
do-
finish this and we'll go back.
Yeah, okay, so we are on the general revenue funds. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
yes,
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 6A, calendar of pending matters, motion to receive and file.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item.
Next item is 7B, approval of the bills of the water and sewer systems, so moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
yes,
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 7D, general fund expenditure, no, it's not, I'm on C, right? 7C, general fund revenue report for May 2025, motion to receive and file.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 7D, general fund expenditure report for May 2025, motion to receive and file with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. So when we get these reports, this is just general fund, and we don't get the DDA expenditure report, as I understand it. Am I correct, Mr. Fox?
Yeah, Richard Fox, City Controller. Yeah, it's just a general fund report.
Okay,
Expenditure.
is there one kept for the DDA?
Oh, yeah, we have a,
I think I would like to see that, and, you know, I want to point out, I did have some reports from the last meeting, the DDA meeting, and I want to remind everyone I know you know what a line item budget is. And we have a line item budget, and also contractual services. I think that needs to be looked at, because there was an item that was purchased that is certainly not contractual services, in my opinion. It was for what I would call supplies. It was for, you know, easels or boards or something like that. That's not contractual services, because there's no contract. And, you know, as we've made it pretty clear to the DDA at budget time, and anybody else, if we cut a budget, there was a reason for it, because we want to see what those expenditures are, because we've had a problem in the past for expenditures coming out of a line item that wasn't to do with the item that they were using it for. And so I just think everybody needs to be reminded of that. And if there's an item that is not in a line item, all you need to do is bring it to council. We will put it on the agenda, and as almost everybody in the city knows, we approve about 99.9% of things that come before us. And if not that night, at some point, we usually do with more information. So we're a very reasonable body. So going forward, if there's any question whatsoever, if something doesn't fit in a line item, just, it's very easy to do an appropriation of funds or request, and we're open and to hear all those. But I just wanted to, I don't want to get in a situation that we got into before, when there was things out of the wrong. That's how we ended up in court. So I hope you would remind everyone of that.
did you want a detailed
I
expenditure
would like
report?
to see that maybe quarterly,
Okay.
if we could. Like, you know, that would be, just so we can
That's not a
track
problem.
things.
That's not a problem.
Thank you very much, Mr.
You're welcome.
Fox.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next item.
Next item, audience, for our agenda items only.
First, members of the audience who'd like to address the city council, this item this evening related to agenda items only may do so by filling out a form on the left. You have 3 minutes. There should be a monitor in front. If you need a 1-minute countdown, I'm happy to give it to you. First up is Mary Matazinski, and then after that is Gary Watts.
Good evening, Council. The item I wish to talk about is 11A. Consideration and adoption of a resolution authorizing the submission of the Community Project Funding CPF grant agreement and creation of a special revenue fund in the amount of $1 million for ADA compliance improvements. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Tony. Thank you, Dorothy and Tony, for your years and years of work and non-stop work to get us ADA compliant. I have a question. I know you can't answer it, but maybe you'll tell me later. If this is the $1 million I believe Tony Baker worked on with Mr. John James to get us, it's not that million? Okay, well, forget that. I do want to say something, though, about the ADA work going on this last week. I was honored to be with one of the coolest engineers we have. He was working, and I was picking up garbage around Imperial and Aspen, and I asked him what he was doing, because I kind of know him from another incident, and he said he was trying to evaluate where I live. There's a street called Imperial. It's a very, very big street. There's no ramps, and there's hundreds of people living in 600 apartments, a lot of people living in 2 sets of condos, lots of people that go to the Islamic Education Center, the charter school, Tivioli, and this extremely nice, intelligent engineer told me that he was trying to evaluate how they could get Imperial, how to get some ramps, so people that are wheelchair bound or, you know, getting off a bus with a bike and blah, 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 could get from point A to point B. That's all.
Okay, next is Gary Watts. After Gary Watts is Jerry Burden.
Good evening, everybody. Gary Watts. I can't tell you how disappointed I am that I have to stand here and talk about a consent agenda item that was just passed. I mentioned it to numerous people, and nobody pulled it off the agenda, consent agenda. $4 million plus project on Bunnett Road is not right. We're going to be hitting our 3rd year here shortly. It's terrible. There's water leaking through the seams. It gets under the pavement. Anybody knows that that's doing damage to that concrete. The manholes, as I said, Mr. Boyke spoke about it last meeting. The residents can't even sit out in their yards. Last meeting, $1.5 million project to Zuniga. Tonight, $2.8 million to Zuniga. This has been going on for years with them. It was like that when I was on council. And we continue to award bad work. Now I have a FOIA in, and I can't wait, because I'm gonna bet $100 that they're not the lowest bidder at the end of the project. And that's sad that we continue to reward people that do terrible work. I don't know who's protecting who, but I'll be honest with you, I'm disgusted with it, and the residents of the city deserve much, much better from their contractors. We did Glody at the same time we did Bunnard. Let me tell you what, that's a wonderful job, but we couldn't get that kind of job on there. And I've been watching Zuniga in my area with some replacement concrete. Let me tell you, it's not a pretty picture what's going on with them. So hopefully somebody will wake up and resolve this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jerry Burden, and after Jerry Burden is Joseph Israel.
Good evening, Council. I got a point of order before I start. If the consent agenda is printed properly, you approved an appointment to someone into commission who expired 3 weeks ago. They have the expiration date of June 30th, 2025. That's 3 weeks ago. So
Thank-
if you appointed them, they're already expired.
Thank you, Mr. Burden.
And that's item U. Madam President, honorable council members, today I rise to speak about the senior services at Joseph Coach in Stillwell Manor. We received no assistance from Parks and Rec. However, recently our director obtained a bus, which has been a godsend for the 400 communities, seniors living there. Since that, one resident in a wheelchair stated at our last housing meeting, because of the bus, she's now live again. She can go shopping, she can go somewhere. Many of our residents do not drive, have no transportation, and no family living close by. We've received no services from Parks and Rec. Many programs held at our facility are set up by the staff and one of our vendors. Many of our programs are sponsored by the residents, such as our recent Thanksgiving dinner, our Easter potluck, of which many of you contributed to, our summer cookout on the patio, with our director cooking hot dogs and hamburgers in 90-degree temperatures. We have had Valentine's, St. Patrick's, Halloween, and Christmas parties, all organized by the staff and residents. What I'm asking today, that the council support and encourage our bus service for 5 days a week. We currently have it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for doctors and shopping and so forth. And as many of you know, doctors also work on Mondays and Fridays. So what we'd like you to do is urge the commission or the administration or someone to give us our bus service 5 days a week and return dignity to many of our seniors. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them later.
Thank you. Next is Joseph Israel, and after Joseph Israel is Lori Harris.
Council, thank you for this opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Joseph Israel. I'm on the consent agenda item T, and I'm happy to be appointed to your Construction Board of Appeals. I bring 2 tons of knowledge. My Uncle Tom was the plumbing and mechanical inspector for the city of Warren for many, many years. He then retired and became the building official for the city of Warren till his other retirement. Jim Cummins, I entertained him to become a building inspector. I signed for him at the state of Michigan. He was my deputy inspector in Elmont, Michigan. Kurt is now the building official. I know him very well from COCM and all the classes we take. And if there's any questions that you have for me, I'd be glad to entertain them at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Appreciate your coming to introduce yourself. Ms. Harris. And after Ms. Harris is Mr. Vanderlinden.
Hi, I had a different topic I wanted to talk about, but I was really struck by the general fund expenditure report and Ms. Moore's comments to Mr. Fox. Why would we ask someone, a group, the DDA, spending a lot of money every month to only give us quarterly expenditure reports? Seems to me that that should be included in your monthly or bi-weekly, at least monthly, not quarterly. How are we going to keep track of anything? And it just doesn't sound right. It needs to happen every month. And Mr. Fox, as the financial director of the city, you know better. And you know what's happened, and we can couch it all in really nice language, but we need transparency. We need it from every department, and especially the DDA, because they're getting ready to try something else. And if you're not stopping them, they're gonna keep doing this. If you don't tell them this is the expectation, that we have to be transparent, it has to go in every month. We have to provide our expenditures to the city. because I've been to DDA meetings, and if they're canceled, the agenda, the items don't come back on the next agenda. So somehow money got spent, agreements got made, motions were passed, and not in a meeting. So we need to do better. Mr. Fox, the DDA needs to do better. Thank you.
Mr. Vanderlinden.
Joel Vanlin, longtime Warren resident. Going over the agenda, there's a thing there about a coffee house at City Hall. Was there a bid process? No. Why was there not a bid? The mayor gets to put her own favorite coffee house inside there? Maybe if it was put out for bid, we'd have better choices. Maybe Donald Trump would like to put a coffee house in Warren.
Mr. Vanderlinden, just as a reminder, this is agenda items specifically.
Isn't that an agenda item?
Don't believe so.
I'm sorry?
I don't believe so.
The coffee house is not an agenda item?
Yeah, it was on the DDA agenda some time ago.
Well, that brings me up to another point.
If you have something related to the agenda, you go for it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Watts hit on Zuniga. I think we need to have a new point of reference, whatever, that before you can bid on a contract, your other contracts must be completed and approved and fixed. I mean, this guy's got 3 things that are under warranty, but aren't working well. The roads look like hell. Bunner comes to mind. Cosgrove's another one. Why are we allowing this man to get more contracts? And with this other stuff was not finished properly. I would like to see a change. I'd like to see a change and some other things too.
1
What-
minute, Mr. Vanderlinden.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
I'll leave it at that. It's a shame that you guys voted for Zuniga again. Why it wasn't taken off the agenda is beyond my mind. After the stink you guys had last month, or last 2 weeks ago, and why this coffee house is not bidded out properly to all the Warren citizens. And I personally think the DDA should be an elected position because there's taxation without representation. Thank you.
Okay, that is the end of audience. Next item,
Next item is 9A, ADA 35th Anniversary Resolution. Motion to approve.
Support Lafferty.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ms. Moore.
Resolution commemorating the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Whereas on July 26, 1990, President George H.W. Bush signed into law the Americans with Disabilities Act, landmark civil rights legislation that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life, including employment, education, transportation, and public and private places open to the general public. And whereas the ADA has served as a national mandate to eliminate discrimination against people with disabilities and to ensure equal opportunity, full participation, independent living, and economic self-sufficiency for all individuals, regardless of physical or mental ability. And whereas the 35th anniversary of the ADA offers an important opportunity to reflect upon the significant progress that has been made in removing barriers and increasing access and inclusion, while also recognizing that the work toward a more accessible and equitable society continues. And whereas the Warren City Council is committed to upholding the principles and protections of the ADA and to promoting policies, programs, and infrastructure that improve access, inclusion, and opportunity for all residents, including those with disabilities. And whereas we recognize and celebrate the advocacy, contributions, and achievements of individuals with disabilities, their families, and the many organizations and allies who have fought tirelessly for equal rights, representation, and dignity. Now therefore be it resolved that the Warren City Council, on behalf of the residents of the City of Warren, does hereby commemorate the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act and reaffirms its commitment to ensuring a community that is accessible, inclusive, and welcoming for people of all abilities. Resolution declared adopted this 22nd day of June, 2025. And I would note that today we have on our agenda a program to improve the infrastructure at Howmich Park to, it is Howmich, isn't it? Howmich Park to offer accessibility to those with disabilities. So it's very fitting that that's on our agenda tonight. And of course, I can't talk about ADA ever without mentioning Tony Baker, who has been certainly the most vocal advocate in the city. Of course, Ms. Harris helps him at the meetings by bringing that to our attention so that we never forget that we have an obligation to make our city accessible for everyone with a disability. So for all of the work that everyone does trying to help with compliance and letting everybody know what they need to know, and especially to Tony for certainly personally all that you have done to educate me. Thank you.
Hear, hear.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I would like to announce that we have discussed this for several years, or I think several. The library at Underwood Park has been approved by the Library Commission, and so we hope it's over on our next council agenda to for council to do the final vote for that. So I'm anxiously awaiting that so that we can get rolling on that. Those people have waited for a long, long time for this to happen, and it's very exciting to me, certainly, and I think everybody up here that's been involved for certainly at least 3 years, I think maybe more. So, thank you.
Any other announcements?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. I'd like to announce that the Warren Civic Theater will be featuring everyone's favorite ogre on stage, and it'll be Shrek the Musical. That will be taking place here in the Warren Community Center Auditorium, August 1st through 3rd and 8th through 10. So 2 weekends in a row. The shows on Friday and Saturday are at 7 p.m. and the Sunday shows are at 3 p.m. This is an all-ages show, all ages on stage and in the audience, and tickets range from $10 to $20. You can purchase your tickets, as always, at warrencivic.org. Get them fast. This show will sell out, guaranteed. Thank you.
Any other announcements?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Moore.
Just a clarification, if I could, Mr. Burden, you were entirely correct. There was a typo on the agenda, and that expires in 2028, not 2020. It was just a typo, but thank you for pointing that out to us. Thank you. That's all.
Hearing and seeing no more announcements. Next item.
Next item is 11A, consideration and adoption of a resolution authorizing the submission of the community project funding grant agreement and creation of a special revenue fund in the amount of $1 million for ADA compliance improvement. Motion to approve with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. I just want to clarify that we actually had the incorrect backup, I think, that went online, and we do have the correct backup now. I gave a copy to Mr. Lafferty as well. I think he's on the Parks and Rec Commission, and he might have something to say about this, but just to clarify, this is, we had the wrong backup. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
So, Madam Chair.
Mr. Lafferty.
Ms. Moore, the $1 million, this is through, we have the ADA compliance, and we also have Parks and Rec improvement for $1 million. So are those two, are we recognizing?
Ask Mr. Cassasana.
uh,
or Rick.
Through the chair
Mr.
to
Fox.
Mr. Fox. Just want to make sure what we're voting on here.
Richard Fox, City Controller. Yeah, there was confusion in this, but Parks and Recreation is a separate one. This particular revenue source is through HUD and for ADA compliance. So it's just putting the fund together and putting the revenue in there.
Okay. And thank you. And then I'll ask for detail from Mr. Casasanta.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. So with the $1 million that has been received, what are we going to see at Helmich Park?
Okay, the grant that we're talking about now is going to be an upgrade of the playscape removal and replacement of ADA compliant playscape at Helmich Park.
Okay.
That's
So,
the other grant that is on the agenda is for a Leo grant of $1 million, and that grant is a non-match grant as well, and we are going to utilize that grant for 3 replacements: J.C. Park, Rents Park, and Ultramat Park's playscapes.
okay, and I'll get to that one later in the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, but this one in particular, just so that we're not confusing the two, this one specifically for the playscape at Helmich.
That is correct.
All right, and in comparison to, we have several different playscapes across the city that you've installed that are ADA compliant.
Yes.
Licht Park was one of the most recent?
That is correct, yes.
All right, and as far as accessibility, right from the parking area, and there's a path, right?
That is right.
All right, and that path has to have a certain, a limitation on inclination, so somebody can roll through with a wheelchair or assisted device, and then they can access the play area?
Right. The plan is for Helmich is to remove all the playscapes. There's actually 3 different playscapes there, one on the north, south, and the middle. The major playscape is the barn structure playscape, which is the main playscape. All of it is going to be removed, but this playscape is going to replace the center one where the barn apparatus is, and we are making plans for connections to the parking lot, which will be, the playscape will actually be closer to the parking lot for ADA compliance. So we're looking at about a $1 million, $800,000 playscape, which is kind of the going rate these days on these playscapes. So this one, we're gonna, being that is a community park, we're gonna step this one up a little bit too. We're looking at designs right now, but it's gonna be a replacement of that playscape.
All right. Thank you for the extra detail.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. And I also want to thank you. A number of times I get calls from residents that live within close proximity to certain parks, and they are our eyes and ears in the neighborhood, and I often hear about something happening at a park long before somebody in the Parks and Rec staff does. And Mr. Casasanta, you are always on top of things. A simple text message, and it gets taken care of. So I know that our residents appreciate it. They are always very happy, whether it's a swing replacement or overflowing garbage bin, you take care of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President?
Mr. Lafferty, are you?
I'm yielding.
Thank you. Mr. Noonan?
Yes, Director Casasantos? Thank you. So I'm not very familiar with the prices of playscapes. I know that they tend to be expensive. It seems to me like $850,000 for the playground equipment and $150,000 for administration planning seems like a lot of money. Can you tell me, is this so that people with more different types of disabilities can enjoy it? That it's like actually like a few different types of playscapes in one? Or how does that come to be? Because
Well,
I have to tell you, I'm mystified by that.
All right, any playscape that is built has to be ADA compliance. The one that we just completed at Lick Park is called a universal play, which has what they call a pour and play base. So that gives more of a drop zone area for the kids. And basically for every activity, there has to be 1 in 5 for somebody that it has a handicap or otherwise. So going forward, all the playscapes are ADA, some are better than others, but they all fit under the ADA compliance. So the one that we're looking at to build at Helmich will most likely have the drop vault material than what they call fiber fill that looks like wood chips. So it's a better system to go through, it lasts longer, the technology is a lot better. It does increase the cost of playscapes tremendously, but it's proven to be a better long-term material than just a fiber fill, which is high maintenance. It has to be replaced every year. So those additional costs for those playscapes is because of the drop vault material.
Would how much ADA compliant playground be more spectacular for kids needing such a thing than other ones in the city?
Well, we look at them. We try to, you know, this is going to be, I think, my 6th I built here in this city. And we kind of look at them to offer something for all the kids and everyone. So by law, we have to offer from toddlers to the age of 13. So all playscapes will have that ability to do that. If you take a look at veterans, it's a little different playscape. It's like more of a rope challenge course, and we thought that'd be a good location because if that's too intimidating for some children, there's short distances to go to other parks for the playscape or using a different playscape. But we're getting great reviews about the one that we built. Actually, the one at Lick has just been open about a month ago, and the one at Veterans, we finished it this spring. And we're getting raves on both of those playscapes.
I guess there needs to be a guide so the parents will know, like, which one will be the best for them or
Well, every playscape that we built there will be play for any individual child.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's by law, we have to do that.
But the one at Arsenal, for instance, is probably harder to get to.
It poses more of a challenge for the older kids, but there are apparatus within that playscape for the younger kids.
Okay. Well, thank you for.
I hope that clarifies what you're asking.
It's getting me there.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay. Hey,
Anything further? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore? Yes. Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 11B, consideration and adoption of a resolution approving amendments to 2022-2023 Housing and Community Development Action Plans, HOPWA budgets. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
11C, consideration and adoption of a resolution approving network use agreement with Comcast. Motion to table.
Support to table.
Call the question. This is to table. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes to table.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes to table.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes, the table.
Rogan C is a yes. Items tabled.
Point of clarification, to date certain,
1 month.
1 month.
Next item.
Next item is 11D, which is authorizing the city treasurer to open a money market account with J.P. Morgan Chase Bank entitled City of Warren ARP Stimulus Funds. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 12A, which was tabled July 22nd, no, it wasn't.
B.
Tabled 2, July 22nd, 2025. Proposed ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the ordinance, use of the city seal and city logo. This would be a second reading.
Do we need E?
That's in. That's 13.
Thank you. Sorry for
No,
my
it's
confusion.
Madam Chair, in fact, what is the proper procedure? I have a number of changes. I'd like to retable this for another 2 weeks.
So we want to take it off the table,
Oh.
read the changes, and then put it back on
Put
the
it back
table?
on. So I'll make a motion to remove from the table.
Well, we're not gonna make the changes tonight.
No, we're not going to make changes
He
tonight.
just wants
Just
to
leave
read
it on the table.
You, I mean,
Well, I
it's
guess we can leave it on the table then.
Yeah, I would leave it on the table.
Okay.
okay. Next item.
Next item is 12B, request to review and ratify the collective bargaining agreement between GELC Supervisors Union and the City of Warren. Motion to approve.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ms. Moore.
Just hats off to everybody that got this done. We're over halfway through, right, Mr. Fox, with our contracts? What do we have left? Command and fire? Oh, did we do UAW?
Richard Fox, City Controller. Yeah, we've got 4 complete. We've got still Command, Unit 35, Unit 59, and Fire.
What is 59? 35 is city attorneys.
City Attorneys. 59 is more of the technical people, a lot of them in my office.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Good job.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 12C, Council Secretary Mindy Moore, discussion and write legal opinion on remote participation and Open Meetings Act. So moved with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. This issue came up at the DDA meeting, and I think it's come up in other commissions perhaps, of whether someone can participate in a meeting and vote remotely. We can all participate remotely or by telephone listening, but we can't actually vote. So I would like to direct Mr. Schroeder for a legal opinion about that. And I understand that there are circumstances where you can appear remotely if you have a disability that's recognized by the ADA, for instance. But if we could direct Mr.
I have a preliminary response.
Okay, oh, Mr. Schroeder, go ahead.
Saw this on the agenda.
Microphone.
Says the late.
Can't hear you. No.
This one is a dud. Okay.
Use Mr. Lafferty's.
All right. So I did some preliminary research into this, and essentially, the Open Meetings Act requires now participation in person, like we have here tonight. And there is one exception under the Open Meetings Act, which is active duty military service. So that's the only exception. There was a period of a few years during the COVID emergencies where remote participation was allowed. I first met many of you on a screen. So that's no longer allowed. The legislature changed that. There is the ability, according to the Michigan Attorney General, for someone who has a qualifying disability under the ADA to formally request an accommodation to participate remotely as a member of that board. And the board would then have to approve that request for an accommodation. It would have to be a legitimate disability under the act. I will put this in writing and forward it to the council for further consideration.
Well, thank you. I think we dealt sometime in the last year, and if I remember correctly, we had pulled some ordinances from the past where previous city council had approved appearing by telephone, and we rescinded those.
I think there was some bylaws of the DDA or some other agency that the bylaws allowed maybe TIFA, telephonic participation There was a period of time 20 years ago where there was a line of thinking where this may have been permitted. It's definitely not permitted now, so.
I think we did rescind the actions of council having to do with that, I think sometime in the last year, because we pulled those old ordinances. I think there were 2 of them, perhaps. So we just want to get that clear, because you can't, we can't miss something on this agenda, and I call everybody and say, hey, are you okay with paying Mr. Vanderlinden's refund on his water bill? You know, we can't make that vote unless we're together here. So I don't know if you have a refund coming or not, Mr. Vanderlinden. I hope you do. But let's just get a formal opinion on that, and then we can share it with all of the commissions and authorities within the city, so we're all operating under the correct rules. I appreciate that.
Question.
Ms. McGee?
You said a board would approve. What board were you speaking of?
Whatever board you're serving on.
Oh, okay.
So if it was a council member, the council would approve it. If you were on the DDA could approve it. It's a little bit tricky because you're dealing with someone's potential, maybe health condition, and whether or not it qualifies under the ADA. I will give a written instructions based on the Michigan Attorney General opinion and related law. There's federal case law on this as well. And I'll provide that to the council, and I'll talk to Ms. Michaels about it as well. We know are communicating very well, so thank you.
Madam President?
Mr. Noonan?
So the only commission that I know of that seems to be out of line on this one is the DDA. And I don't recall ever hearing any discussion from them as to whether they should allow someone to participate by phone. They've just, at the very last meeting, I think there was 1 or 2 people, I wasn't quite sure actually, participating by phone. If that was true, and if that's not legal, I think it's state law that makes it not legal.
Well, the Michigan Open Meetings Act is the law that requires in-person, participation in voting.
So it's state law.
Yes, state law.
It totally supersedes anything at our level, right?
Right, but a federal law could supersede a state law, the American with Disabilities Act.
Okay,
So,
so if they had someone who couldn't make the meeting for that reason, they could still participate if they went through the procedure that you're talking about?
Through that procedure, and assuming that the condition is a qualifying disability, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, food poisoning probably wouldn't, that's not a disability, right? So I'm just picking something random that someone might, look, I'm sick today, I can't make the meeting, I'm calling in,
Uh-huh.
I want to vote remotely. That's not a qualifying disability,
Yeah.
just as an example.
Okay. So probably that shouldn't be used for the DDA.
Well, I can't say it should or shouldn't.
Okay.
It's a very individual-based determination, and as the legal opinion will show, each fact and circumstance need to be considered separately. And the ultimate question is, do you have a qualifying disability? You're requesting an accommodation, so the ADA protects the rights of people who have disabilities, right?
Right.
And so if I have some sort of condition that qualifies as a disability, and I can't come to the meeting, let's say I have a condition that I'm immunocompromised, and this fits the definition of disability.
Mhm.
If I show to the meeting, up to the meeting, I'm putting my life at risk because I'm immunocompromised, and this is a condition qualifying. I'm requesting an accommodation as a board member to participate remotely. It's an accommodation under federal law. So it doesn't matter that the Open Meetings Act says you have to participate in person. What matters is you have rights under federal law. You're requesting an accommodation, and that accommodation needs to be considered and granted.
Okay,
Okay, so we have a recommended process for that.
great.
So,
I look forward to seeing that.
yes.
Madam Chair?
Thank you. All right, Gil.
I think Mr. Schroeder will confirm this. In the event that a vote was taken which violated the Open Meetings Act, that doesn't negate that vote, correct? So we're not worrying about,
Well, it can. We've seen that happen here before with the marijuana committee that met in private. It can negate it, but there are certain things you can, if it's an inadvertent situation, you can certainly reenact. The Open Meetings Act has an interesting provision about reenactment. So let's say someone participated remotely, let's say they approved a contract, okay? This contract's moving forward, the city's paying the vendor, and a citizen complains, they go to the county prosecutor and say, or they file a lawsuit saying there's an Open Meetings Act violation. There's a provision allowing the board to, without penalty, go back and meet the council, the board, whoever it is, and reenact their vote in person as a sort of a corrective measure. So there is sort of a procedure to correct that.
Okay. But somebody that has a contract, for instance,
Yeah.
their contract isn't null and void
Right.
because we find out there was a violation, right?
Not necessarily, and also keep in mind, if you had a
I
board
don't want
of,
people freaking out that,
if the council had 7 members, and someone was participating remotely, and they're voting, and the matter passes 7-0, I mean,
But if it-
there's not
if-
much harm, but if it was passed by 1 vote,
if it was a quorum being
Yeah.
made by that one person's vote.
the issue with the marijuana committee from 2019 that was found in violation, they were all meeting in secret. The whole board was meeting in secret, right? So that was the problem.
Madam President?
Thank you.
Mr. Noonan.
So if they're achieving quorum by someone participating remotely who doesn't qualify to do that, then they actually didn't have quorum, correct?
That's probably true.
Because I think that might have been happening at the last meeting.
That's probably true,
So
unless,
I hope we get this cleared up,
Yeah.
as I wouldn't,
yeah.
I wouldn't want their process to be messed up just because of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
well, I
want to
yield.
do it right.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Boyke.
for Mr. Schroeder, how does one prove it's a justified disability without violating HIPAA laws and that person's legal right not to disclose it? Similar to the care animal.
Certainly, I talked about a forthcoming memo. There's a procedure where, I mean, someone's gonna have to review this, right? But not necessarily the public. So there's a procedure where it could be the HR department or legal counsel or somebody who is designated to review, just to make sure this is a bona fide request, meaning there is a true bona fide disability under the ADA. You're requesting an accommodation. This happens in the workplace all the time. It happens, the ADA provides an accommodation, but you have to show that you're entitled to it. And you can protect, for the most part, the individual's privacy under the health laws. So for example, if, I don't know, Mr. Vanderlinden wanted to FOIA this information, he wouldn't get the health records. They would be exempt from a FOIA. But the fact that you were able to go through this process and make sure and determine this person qualified for the disability before it was approved, that can be done. It's, you know, we're trying to balance a state law that says one thing and a federal law that says another, and making sure that someone's actually entitled to that is something that the city, the board, or the council will have to go through, and someone's going to have to look at it and make that determination, because, you know, food poisoning isn't gonna cut it, or some other conditions.
So if a council member or resident or anyone wants to challenge it and make a complaint, you probably should refer it to the city attorney's office and Human Resources for,
Yes,
okay.
yes. And we can work on a procedure for that, to protect the health, privacy of any individual. But at some point, if you're requesting an accommodation from a public body, somebody's going to have to review it.
Thank you. Yield back.
Thank you. There was an interesting debate in Congress because historically the House of Representatives didn't have women of childbearing age, and they're trying to allow for remote participation because they have to travel to DC, obviously, after they've had a baby, and they're not allowing it. But it was a very similar debate where they were trying to vote by proxy or by phone while they were home with their newborns. So it's happening other places.
Right.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 12D, Council Secretary Mindy Moore, discussion and Ray Warren City Charter Amendment, a proposal to authorize the mayor to make interim appointments and extend the appointments with the approval of the council, consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. A while back, the Charter Review Committee met and discussed items that we thought we would want to place on this year's ballot. And as you know, all of you are aware, we have been faced with a situation of these acting positions that we had never really seen before. Certainly in my time at the city, I'd never really seen that except for a very short period of time. And we think, you know, we need to have a procedure to cover that. And not everybody that comes in to office has a team ready to go on day one. You know, most in the past that has happened, but not everybody's going to have that network of people. And so there should be a procedure in place. So this amendment would allow the mayor to make provisional, or maybe Mr. Schroeder, you want to explain it? You're better than me. Oh, I forgot. You have to borrow your microphone.
I can say true, going back 25 years, there's been a history of interim appointments, acting appointments that were very short to keep the seat warm while someone was wrapping up their prior job. When I was in the city attorney's office, the prior mayor appointed a city attorney. This attorney had a private practice. It took 3 or 4 weeks to wrap that up to come be the city attorney. There was an interim city attorney. That was me. And so it was a fun 3 weeks while it lasted. But there was really nothing in the charter at the time to allow for this. So if you look in the charter, it doesn't say anything about acting, interim appointments. And so this formalizes that process. And we also know that Warren has one of the shortest, if not the shortest, turnaround time between the election and being sworn in. So that doesn't allow any administration or new council to get together to make these types of decisions. So this was brought up in the March 25th meeting of the Charter Review Committee, and the Charter Review Committee went through this, and we looked at around the country, multiple municipalities have provisions for making interim appointments. It usually involves the executive and the legislative branch getting together. This proposal allows the mayor to freely appoint any acting or interim department head as long as they're an existing city employee for 3 months. And then if it allows for a 3-month extension, but that extension will require council approval. But the whole idea is that all along you're doing a search. You're getting a process to get a permanent person. And ultimately, that individual who is acting could also just be appointed to the position. And, you know, in most cases, the mayor could just terminate that person anyway if somehow they found somebody new or didn't like it. But this is giving like a 6-month runway for acting and interim, which was more generous than most of the ones I saw. But I think the Charter Revision Committee wanted to have something that was going to be workable and not put too many restrictions on the administration at the same time.
I mean, we have, you know, we want to give a mayor time that they need, but also put a limit on it because it also impedes the work of council when you don't have people permanently in place. It impedes the operation of the city in a lot of ways. So I think this is fair to everybody. I will make the backup. There is a correction to be made. It does say the 11/4/2024 election, and it should be 2025. We're not doing this retroactively. We don't have a, yeah, so that's that.
Ms. McGee.
My only concern is that if we allow those 3 months' time, what is the average time to locate or get someone to take their place? I know we have our HR director here. At the time, it's now taking 6 months to place someone. So if we say there's 3 months and she cannot find them within that certain 6 months' time, do we keep extending for another 3 months on the approval of city council? Because you may not be able to find someone to take that position within even a year.
I would point out, these are for appointed positions only, not for the options are, under this proposal, is you have 6 months, and then you can always appoint, as I said, you could always just appoint that person who was interim, and you can continue your search, but they have to go through the formal appointment process under 7.6, where the mayor makes the appointment, and the council has 2 meetings to reject it if there's a reason, and they could still sort of be, I mean, I guess they're all interim at the end of the day, right? Because the mayor can terminate any of these department heads, other than maybe the city attorney, which requires counsel and assessor. But all the other department and division heads, the mayor has the ability to terminate them for any or no reason, any legal reason or no reason at all, if it's just not working out. They're not in the union, they're not civil service, they don't have that protection. So this is just a way to formalize this acting interim label process. Certainly if this language is subject to voter approval as well. This would go on the ballot and the voters would have to approve it. If the voters approve it, it would become part of the charter. If the voters turn it down, then we would just continue with this situation where acting and interim doesn't exist. It's not in the charter. For whatever reason, they never decided to address that issue. So, you know, if you wanted to continue doing 3-month extensions, I mean, that would be up to the council if you wanted to amend this to add that, keep coming back every 3 months. But this is how it came from the charter committee.
Yeah, yes.
Madam President?
Ms. McGee, anything further?
No.
Mr. Noonan?
So I think part of this discussion is that the way it's worked out recently is that it's not always very fair. For instance, Mary Michaels, isn't that a bad situation? She's not getting all the benefits of one or the other, really, from that. So I think it's to keep the city from being in an awkward position with key employees.
Madam
I
Chair?
yield.
Actually, with the city attorney, it is absolutely prohibited under the union contract to have an acting city attorney for more than 4 months. So it's not just nothing in the charter providing for it, it is actually against in the bargaining unit. So,
Right.
UAW,
For a whole bunch of reasons.
right. But that's a separate situation.
Yeah.
That is the only, and I'm guessing that is part of the contract, is because the city attorney usually is the first appointment under any administration. Usually the city attorney and the assessor, because for some, in the framers' minds, those were the 2 most important positions in the city attorney and the assessor, the one that takes care of the taxation and the legal affairs. And so that typically, in fact, you know, almost every first night of every council is the city attorney acts as the chairperson of the meeting, and, you know, the potential appointee acts as the chairperson of the meeting, and then once the officers are voted on, then that officer takes, and then the first vote of the first night is the city attorney, and sometimes the assessor, I think, usually. And sometimes they're holdover. You know, there's somebody from one that's like, I think Mr. Constance was voted for about 20 years, so 5 terms of council, and, you know, that's not always the case. You know, some terms, I think there were many city attorneys under the last administration. So, but I think this, you know, this is sort of, we've talked about this ad nauseum about Ms. Michaels has been doing the job for a long time and doing a good job. She's been very fair to all of us, and I think we have a good working relationship, and it's time for her to be appointed. Thank you. And I will clarify that this is 2025 once again on the resolution.
Any other discussion?
Madam Chair?
Mr. Lafferty?
Thank you. While I support the measure going on the ballot, to Ms. McGee's point, I'm only in favor of the 1 extension of the 3 months, if it's needed for a total of 6 months, not to exceed. That's the limit. But this is a grace period. That's all we're talking about. This is a grace period from the beginning of an administration. I have absolutely zero confidence that in November, if the voters choose to pass this, that it will compel the mayor to follow her oath of office and complete her appointments. I can, not one single administration in the history that I can remember of this city has a council ever faced an incomplete administration. And we're in 2025. We're 2 years, nearly 2 whole years into this term, and the mayor has an incomplete administration. That is completely unacceptable. This will not remedy that. This allows for provisional appointments, and it codifies it, which isn't, it's a necessary revision. I absolutely agree with that, but it's not going to cure this problem. Thank you.
Any additional discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13A, which was tabled once again on July 8th, 2025. Proposed resolution providing public notice of intent to sell vacant tax reverted property at 2803 Wellington, Warren, Michigan for $1, to be combined with 20809 Wellington, approving sale following a 30-day notice period and accepting grant of easement rights. Consideration and adoption of a resolution.
The item's on the table.
It is, but I want to make a comment, and I don't know how to do it without taking it off the table.
I don't think you can.
I'm going to take it off the table for remove from the table for discussion only.
Support.
This is a vote on removing the item from the table. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is yes. Item is off the table. We need a motion and support.
Motion to approve for discussion.
Support Lafferty for discussion only.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. It is often in the city's best interest to sell vacant parcels of land adjacent to property owners. As I understand it, each parcel is appraised individually. Often the property only has value to a neighbor, whether it's a business or a home. So following the appraised value isn't always going to be the best way for us to base the value we are willing to sell the property for. In addition to the appraised value, the cost of administrative processing and legal review should be factored into the final sale price. We should establish a minimum administrative fee to be applied to the sale of each parcel. And Mr. Schroeder, I would direct this to you. How do we best address this issue?
For the $1 sale of tax reverted property for like a neighbor,
Right.
commercial or
So,
residential?
you know, it's much on, it's probably valued at, I'd have to look it up, but it's got a value. But there is a cost that the city attorney's office spends time preparing paperwork, or sometimes planning's involved, economic development is involved. So there is a fee. So there, so there should be administrative fee, a fixed amount, or based on the value, or some sort of way to come up with that there should be a minimum of, you know, whether it's $225 or whatever. I think, you know, we can figure out how much time it takes, actually.
I think we could maybe ask for an estimate as to what the cost is and just add an administrative fee. It could still be a sale for $1 with the an administrative fee attached to it.
Yeah.
But I think it can be a reasonable fee.
Right.
You know, I would recommend a flat fee for these type of things rather than,
Right,
you know, a separate fee for each one.
Right.
Maybe a fee schedule.
right.
And that would be my first thought on it.
Could you maybe work with Ms. Michaels and come up with,
Sure,
okay.
yes.
So that would be, then my motion would be to ask Mr. Schroeder to work with the administration to come up with some sort of flat fee to cover that.
So,
This is the
Items
second motion.
still
This
up
is
for-
a,
The second,
this is a,
You sending this motion over
Yes.
to the administration? So
yes. So that's
so-
my, I'm making a separate motion to send this item to Mr. Schroeder to deal with the administration.
And then I would go back to the
Oh.
agenda item.
all right, I'll second that motion.
Okay. Then we can vote on that,
Yeah.
and then we go back.
Everyone clear on what we're voting on?
Yes.
Okay. I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes?
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes.
Motion
The
to
motion
table,
carried. And motion to table item
Support.
13A?
to date certain, August 12th.
August 12th. Any discussion? No discussion on a tabling motion. I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Sorry. Mr. Lafferty?
Yes to table.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes to table.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C is a yes. Motion carries. Items tabled. Next item.
Next item is 13B, which remained tabled to July 8th, and again now, proposed resolution providing public notice of intent to sell 6 tax reverted properties at 23184 Bierman, 7275 Dodge, and 7279 Dodge, 6898 Lozier, 6889 Republic, and 6899 Republic.
Okay, this item stays on the table. Next item.
13C, request to approve an ordinance for the wastewater treatment plant improvements and issuance and sale of public utility system junior lien revenue bonds and the collection of revenue sufficient to finance the repayment of said bonds, consideration and adoption of a resolution. So moved with discussion.
Support with discussion.
Discussion, Ms. Moore, and then Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was going to ask Mr. Fox to come up and explain what we're doing.
Okay. Good evening, Council. Richard Fox, City Controller. So this is part of the process that we've gone through for the treatment plant for the incinerator project. So as you're aware, we originally were approved for a SRF loan for $75 million, and just under $10 million was forgivable. Well, as you're aware, the bids came in and they were more than the $75 million. So the next process was we had to get approval from the state, and if they had excess funds, then we were requesting $100 million. They did approve that they had excess funds, so now we're approved for $100 million at 2%. The $10 million that we don't have to pay is still part of that agreement. And so this bond resolution is to adopt that ordinance so we can sell the $100 million in bonds. And I do have this evening Steve Burke and Ronald Liscombe from Miller Campfield and Stephen Burke from MFCI, if there's any more detailed questions.
Thank you. Any additional discussion?
Madam President,
Mr. Lafferty?
thank you. Through the chair to Bond Counsel,
That's fine.
Mr. Burke.
Good evening. My name is Ron Liscombe. I'm with Miller Canfield. I serve as the city's bond counsel.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
And so I'm looking at the bond schedule, and we're looking at is this a 35-year schedule?
Yeah, the bonds were set up to mature over 30 annual payments, but the first payment would not begin until 2029.
Okay. And and this is fixed at 2%?
Correct.
So this is the state revolving fund?
That's correct.
The SRF?
That's correct.
All right. So this is a little slightly different than our typical bond process, in that we're usually going to a federal institution, a banking institution for our bonds,
Mhm.
for the sales. This is done strictly through the state, and it's administered through the state?
Yes, the state revolving fund program is administered through the state. The funding for that comes actually from both federal and state sources, but it's intended to provide low-cost financing for improvements to water and sewer systems. So this is, you're not gonna find 2% on the open market right now. Oftentimes, you would go to the investing public, and you would engage an underwriting bank to sell the bonds for a publicly offered deal. This is a lower cost way of financing necessary improvements for public health and safety.
Okay. And so, and the first payment not being made until 29, but the 4-year delay, could you comment on that, please?
Yeah, so generally, that's going to be set up so that the first payment doesn't have to begin until after the project has been completed.
Okay.
So under the program, you have to commence payments within 1 year of the initiation of operation of the project.
Very good. I don't have any other questions. I'm still tickled about the $10 million write-off that the state is giving the city.
Yes.
So that's a good deal. So all in all, $90 million for reimbursement. Yes.
Stephen Burke from MFCI. Good to see everyone again. Mr. Lafferty, you didn't ask one question that I was really hoping you were going to ask, but I'm going to give you the answer anyway.
Go ahead.
The difference between doing this in the public market and doing this through the state's program was roughly $74 million in interest. So that was the savings to the city by completing this through the state's SRF program. And because I know you and your questions, I had that prepared, and so I was going to be disappointed if I didn't get to tell you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was worth it. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is,
Thank you.
thank you. Next item is 13D, request for the Department of Parks and Recreation to approve an increase in budgeted revenues and appropriations in the amount of $1 million to account for the receipt of a grant from the State of Michigan's Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity for the purpose of Parks and Recreation improvement, consideration, and adoption of a resolution. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion.
Discussion, Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. Through the chair to Mr. Casasenta. Good evening, sir, again.
Good evening.
All right, 2 questions. One, the funding, are we, it appears that we're receiving the funds in total ahead of time.
No, this is a non-match, so I believe the funds are gonna go into the parks account, and then it's gonna be in reimbursement. So it's a non-match grant, so it's $1 million that the state's receiving. So once we start making purchases, and then we'll get reimbursement on the grant. Believe this is how this one works.
Okay. We have a section on unobligated funds, which led me to believe that if, so is it, we wouldn't need unobligated funds provisioning if you're saying we spent $100 grand on this part and 200 grand on this, they're going to write us a check for exactly what we spent.
With
So-
the reimbursement, yes.
Okay, all right, so that was the one clarification, so we're not receiving $1 million in the bank. We'll
Correct.
be part and parcel throughout the project.
Yes.
And final question is, where are you making these improvements?
When we wrote the grant, we looked at playscapes in 3 other parks that need to be replaced. One of them is Altermat Park. The other one is JC's Park and Rents Park. In addition to that, I think there's additional little funding I don't have in front of me to complete a project that we're starting this year with Veterans Park for pickleball courts and also basketball court. We do have the funding for that. We have a few dollars. Maybe we can put in, do an upgrade in the bathrooms or something else. I haven't decided yet, but there is a little bit of funding for Veterans Park in there.
All right, are those replacing the old racquetball courts that are there?
I don't know if there was racquetball courts there. These are going to be new courts where the old pool used to be in years
Same
past.
structure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam President?
I yield.
Mr. Noonan.
I just wanted to mention that this grant of $1 million was sponsored by Senator Paul Bueno, State Representative Donovan McKinney, and State Representative Nate Shannon, and to give them some credit and some thanks. And thank you so much, Director Casasantos, for all this great work at our parks.
You're welcome.
I yield.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 13E, request to approve the appointment of Mark Pasick to the Arsenal Alliance Committee. So moved with the discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Madam Chair.
Discussion, Ms. Moore.
Thank you. As everyone knows, we have an intergovernmental agreement with Sterling Heights. Sterling Heights appointed 2 members, City of Warren appointed 2 members, and then those 4 members chose the 5th person, and that's Mr. Pasick.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes?
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
13F, request for public alley vacation located between Globe Avenue and Nagel Street, approximately 100 feet south of 9 Mile Road, Section 35, 12,000 9 Mile. Matt Nio. Motion to approve with discussion.
Support Lafferty with discussion.
Discussion, Ms. Moore, and then Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. Just to explain, this is an extension of a request. I'm not sure why it's taken so long. Pardon me? Oh, you have the details? Okay, Mr. Lafferty, you want to explain it to the public?
So, through the.
Since we don't have anybody here from
Yeah.
the administration, apparently?
Through the chair to Ms. Michaels, please. So, during the initial portion of our meeting, I received a message from Director Worth, Planning Department, that this had not yet come through Planning Department. And so, Ms. Michaels, if you could please advise what you're aware of.
Well, I've become aware that this is an extension. I believe Ms. Camp has the backup. I don't have the backup, but when there's a vacation that's approved by City Council, well, the process is first there's a public hearing before planning, then council adopts the resolution actually vacating the public way. Typically, one of council's conditions is that within a year, the petitioner would have to go to circuit court and perfect the vacation. Circuit court action, it takes a lot of time. Sometimes the petitioner would come back to council. It'd start with a planning commission usually, but it's the council resolution. So in this case, they're going to council and asking for more time. I don't have the backup. I'm not aware of how much time is being requested. But if more time is needed for that purpose, that's within council's discretion.
All right. Given that the Planning Department, it did not go through planning and, okay. So request. All right, so I'm looking at a letter dated June 10, request for public alley vacation from the Planning Department from the Secretary. And on June 7, the Warren Planning Commission recommended the approval of the above referenced vacation. On August 10, 2021, council approved the public alley vacation, and on May 28, 2024, an extension was granted to August 10, 2025. This letter will serve as notice that the above caption approval shall expire on August 10, 2025. If you would like to reach out to City Council and request, they can grant up to a 1-year extension of the public alley vacation approval. But typically with a request from the Planning Department, there's a recommendation. If they were, recommending to approve or deny, and then council will vote with the material giving direction. They are a recommending body. they're asking, so this is really being just set in our lap without a recommendation. So is this the proper procedure?
If I may,
Yes.
protocol is the planning commission made the recommendation on all the conditions. So it would be proper for the planning commission to make a recommendation on whether one of those conditions should be changed or altered, which in this case is an extension.
So according to the request of the petitioner from a Mohammed Neo, an associate at Warner Norcross plus, and Jude, they are representing Matt Neo and Golden Wheat in the request for a public alley vacation. As stated, they believe an extension will be required as, and I quote, "We were retained to assist in this matter recently. It is taking us time to gather the required parties pursuant to the statute and gather the consent conflict waivers from all applicable parties." So it sounds like an administrative matter more so than any issues with permitting, right-of-way details. This is more administrative.
Correct. It seems like the law firm may be retained to file the circuit court action, which is needed to perfect the vacation.
Given that this appears to be more of an administrative extension, I don't have any objection to it. My objection is that this was not published on the agenda in time, and, oh, well. All right. Yeah, I won't object to this. I yield. Thank you, Ms. Michaels.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is resolution authorizing exemption to Kiwanis Club of Warren, Michigan for the sale and consumption of beer and wine at City Square Park during Warren Birthday Bash, August 21 through August 24, 2025. So moved.
Support Dwyer.
Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Boyke?
Yes.
Mr. Noonan?
Yes.
Ms. McGee?
Yes.
Rogan C. is a yes. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is audience participation on general topics.
Members of the audience who would like to address City Council may do so under the audience portion by filling out a form in the basket there. You have 3 minutes. This is for general topics. First is Gary Watts, and then Mary Matazinski. Ms. Sanker, if you want to, did you put your name in? If not, I would put your name in. Mm-hmm. She wants to be last.
Good evening again. So, we'll start off with last night, did a little research. I don't know the exact number, but we're somewhere between 20 and 25 police officers short. I searched the city website, I searched MCOLS, and there's not one posting anywhere. You have to wonder what is going on over there in City Hall, in the Golden Tower. That's obviously not important to her to hire any police officers. Secondly, you brought up about the DDA meeting last week, which I was at. We couldn't even hear the person that was on the phone. Don't know who it was. Could have been a fake somewhere, I don't know. But onto that, I attended TIFA on Thursday morning. There was no recording of the meeting. There was no video recording of the meeting. And there was no one taking minutes of the meeting. That's concerning. That's very concerning. Have a TIFA board member who has 2 properties that are blight infested. They look horrible, parking semi-trucks on a residential street. That's terrible. And when I brought that up, he wanted to engage me. He wanted to engage me into an argument. Yeah, I wasn't taking that. Be honest with you, I was a little disappointed in Hal. He's there as councilperson. He represents that district. I haven't heard him say anything to defend the blight problems down there, try to get the blight problems fixed. It's a mess down there. It's an absolute mess, disgusting. You know, and I won't even tell you what one of the other business owners said about what the homeless are doing on their property. The other thing is, since you brought up the $1 million grant, I'm wondering, where is our $1 million grant from John James? Did we lose that because somebody was playing partisan politics over at City Hall? Haven't heard a word about that. That's disgusting. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars have we spent on consultants, and we haven't hardly accomplished anything on ADA from that angle? It's disgusting. And then, recently, the city took delivery of some new ambulances. And we were some of us were fortunate to go over and do some photo ops and stuff and get a tour of the new station. When I was walking through the station, I discovered something rather odd. The countertop didn't fit over the dishwasher. When I looked at the cabinets, and I've had some complaints about this, the cabinets are only 18 inches deep. I was told by somebody that they're going to move the cabinets out and put a 24-inch countertop on it. I don't know if anybody's ever ate lunch at the fire station or dinner,
You're at time, Mr. Watts.
but things are much bigger than that.
Thank you. Ms. Matazinski and then Jerry Burden.
Good evening, Council. In a week and a day, Warren is going to have a large celebration at the new Station 5 on Shaner, just south of 13 Mile. If you haven't driven by there in the last year, then you're blind. There's a brand new, state-of-the-art fire station that is absolutely gorgeous. I was there 3 weeks ago, I think, or 2 weeks ago, and I got to look inside it, and it was as big as a Smithsonian. It's higher than the ceiling, and it's 500,000 square feet. No, I don't know exactly. When you walk in the vestibule, the very front door where everybody walks in, on the wall that you walk right into, there's a beautiful bronze engraved plaque. That plaque has all of your names, well, not you, Mr. Schroeder, sorry, has all of your names minus Mr. Schroeder. It has the mayor, it has the treasurer, it has the clerk, it has the company, the architectural company, it has the designers, it has the builders, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful plaque honoring our current mayor, treasurer, city clerk, city council, and everybody else that was involved in the designing and the architecture. But for many, many, many years, a group of people that we all know and love worked their asses off to have that Station 5 and another station built in Warren because our fire stations were 60 years old and crumbling. Now, I don't know if it was a mistake. I don't know if it was an oversight. I've been told it's protocol. It's the way it is. But I want to say this. Thank you, Mayor Jim Fouts. Thank you, Council President Patrick Green. Thank you, Councilman Gary Watts, Ron Papandrea, Eddie Kabazinski, for devoting years of your lives to getting Warren 2 new state-of-the-art fire stations. These people on this list were left off that bronze engraved plaque because they're no longer elected officials, but they worked hard day and night to build Warren 2 brand new state-of-the-art fire stations.
Thank you. Next is Jerry Burden, and after Mr. Burden is Lori Harris.
I wrote my script earlier and left a few things out. But the bus has transported our seniors to Cranbrook. We went to the Ford House in St. Clair Shores. We take them to lunch on Tuesdays. In the morning, they go to a Warren restaurant. In the afternoon, they go to a Warren restaurant for dinner. Everyone has been so happy with the bus trips. The bus is full every time they go. And again, I implore you to do whatever it takes to extend that bus to 5 days a week. Those seniors need it. We got 400 of them living in Stillwell Joseph Coach. Many of them don't have cars, no transportation, and unfortunately, a lot of them don't have any family close by. So do what you can for us, and we will do what we can for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Lori Harris and then Joel Vanderlinden.
Hi, Lori Harris. I have a challenge to Mayor Stone. At your community check-in this week, please cut the 1/2 hour slideshow. It's repetitive, it's unnecessary, and it takes away your time from actually listening to the residents or having a discussion with them without trying to prove that you know the answers to everything. Listening, active listening, is important, and relationship. And I don't think that happens at these check-ins. The city website. Why are police and fire considered departments of the city? Why aren't they considered departments? They're considered government. So if you go to the city website to try to find the fire department or the police department, you have to go to government. I'm not sure if that's necessary. It certainly makes it very hard to find things. But the fire department reports they're from 2014 and earlier. There are no other annual reports or anything on the website. I would think a 4th grader could update the website. Wouldn't this be high on the agenda? I mean, we're going to have an opening for a firehouse, and you want to go to the city and get information. What are you going to find? Information from 2010 and 2014. So that just requires getting the information from the departments and updating the website. The conflict of events this past weekend was embarrassing. A festival was approved for the city square and a city-sponsored concert at the same time. The atrium is not conducive to what should have been an outside concert. And a 3rd grader could keep up that calendar. Why are people getting duplicate voter ID cards? Did anyone see that on social media? Some got 6. That costs money. And what is going on in the clerk's office that this is happening? Or cards for people that died a long time ago? And who's going to look into this? Who's going to look into this at the clerk's office? And then I know I brought this up before, but I really have a burden for, in our community, we are seeing a culture that does not respect women, and yet we are looking to them for their votes. And I'm wondering how we can do this. How do we address that? Because we have value, and I don't want our community to become one where we're not respecting women. Thank you.
Mr. Vanderlinden and then Ms. Sanker.
Joel Vanderlyn, longtime Warren resident. A comment was brought up about FOIAs earlier. I put in a FOIA about Police Chief Hawkins. Haven't received anything. I was denied. I put in for a hearing. I was having to look at Sterling Heights, and all the information I was looking for my own city is on the Sterling Heights website. Why don't we have that here? Why don't we have people that know how to do a website taking care of our city? Since then, I have put in numerous FOIAs. I have not received the response that we received your FOIA, so forth, so on. I even resent them in, and they should have been answered. And I want to know why the FOIAs are not being taken care of properly. I want answers. I think we deserve answers. Now, the thing with the fire department and the building and stuff like that brought up a question in my mind. If we list down all the things that Mayor Stone has done, both of them, compared to all the businesses that are gone, that left Warren in the last 2 years, it's pretty embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. I think the people here deserve better. I think you people may try, but you have to go the extra mile. You have to try. The comment was brought up about people in our city that are not respecting women. They're not respecting other people. We had a gentleman that almost got onto the planning commission that wasn't even a American citizen. Are we checking green cards? Are we checking to make sure they're U.S. citizens? Are we checking that these people have our best interests? I mean, I talked about the coffee house coming to the city of Warren. The mayor was here for the budget every day, but she wasn't there that day. Why? Because she was passing out pizza to people arguing against President Trump.
15 seconds, Mr. Vanderlinden.
Thank you. Is it more important for her to pass out pizza and look like that it is to get the budget done correctly and go through the proper steps and to inform the people
You're
what's
at
going
time,
on?
Mr. Vanderlinden.
We deserve better.
Thank you.
God bless America.
Ms. Sanker. You're up, Ms. Sanker.
Good evening. I heard on TV where Christian organizations volunteered to help the people in Texas with flooding. It isn't surprising that Christian groups are usually the first that come to areas of need. You don't hear of atheist groups running toward these catastrophic areas, yet our mayor has chosen to put atheists and gay groups before Christian groups in our city. She has taken the Christmas manger away, taken the prayer station away, and refused to hold the National Day of Prayer, even though the anti-Christian groups were recognized with the Christian groups at these events. She has celebrated with anti-Christian groups with parades, festivals, and month-long proclamations of recognition. She is the first mayor that has slighted the Christian community and their beliefs and traditions. This is not whimsical. This is deliberate on her part. Our traditions are 2,000 years old, and the practice of having a manger under the Christmas tree, a prayer station, and celebrating the National Day of Prayer is a long-time practice. Yes, she is entitled to her own beliefs or lack of, but this should not be forced on Christian taxpayers. We have celebrated for years in the atrium of City Hall all of these activities with great success. It is very concerning what her views are on Christians and those tax-paying residents who embrace the faith. We have fought too many conflicts for freedom to have them taken away now, such as the manger, the prayer station, and honoring the National Day of Prayer. It is unfortunate we have to question the mayor for her unacceptable behavior. According to Warren TV, she is inclusive to everyone but Christians. Also, I would like to shout out to Councilman Boyke, who at the last meeting said he went door to door in a neighborhood and asked what they felt about the cement work project. This is by far the best way to get information from your constituents. It is totally reliable, should be used in your vote when voting on special projects, as Councilman Boyke did. He voted no, while others voted yes. Thank you for consulting the taxpayers who have to live with progress or mistakes of those cement companies. You showed real leadership. Thank you, Councilman Boyke. Thank you, Council.
Next is Curtis Oshkosh. I want to remind everyone that there's not clapping from the audience and yelling from the back. Go ahead, Mr. Oshkosh.
Good evening, Council. Curtis Oshkosh, resident and pastor here in the city. In the book of Proverbs, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in authority, the people groan. You know, under this current regime we have, the people are groaning. At a council meeting just a couple weeks ago, you guys want to push the new city downtown project forward, but for 4 years you stalled it, tabled it, sabotaged it because you didn't like the previous mayor. But that was a $170 million project. Now it's going to cost many more millions. It's kind of concerning too about this new wastewater incinerator project. When the previous mayor wanted to put that through, there was some kind of problem. It was going to be a $75 to $80 million project, so it was stalled, tabled, sabotaged again. But you guys had a secret meeting, I think, right before the 4th of July and bonded up to $120 million for the same project. You know, it's just crazy how our city can waste all kinds of money over personal vendettas, over revenge, over nonsense. And then you guys get all up your undies all uptight over the mayor having his picture in a thing. When I was at Speedway gas station the other day, Mark Hackle's picture was on the little video screen talking about how great Macomb County is. I mean, twice today we gave Mr. Schroeder and Plunkett Cooney another blank check to check into something. I mean, how many blank runaway checks have we got? We have a legal department. I mean, you don't want to call her the acting director, but I mean, if I was Mary Michaels, I'd be pretty upset right now. And then at the last meeting, Mr. Schroeder said he's going to start meeting with Mary Michaels on a regular basis because they can coordinate things. I didn't know he was the city attorney. Maybe he should be our city attorney, take a huge pay cut, make $149,000 a year total, and be our city attorney then. You're acting city attorney, you act like it. I mean, you sit up there with everybody. I was reading also the charter. It's interesting what the charter says about the city attorney. It says that the city attorney shall be directly responsible to the council, section 7.10A. So technically, the attorney that's supposed to represent the council is the city attorney. Did you guys ever read this? And then it goes on to say, acting as the legal advisor to the council.
You're at time. Thank you. Have
We
a good
need to-
evening. Next item.
Next item is council response to audience. Madam Chair?
Ms. Moore.
Yeah, if I could just address, I think Ms. Harris brought it up about the concerts in the park that are put on by the Cultural Commission, I believe. Last year, the same group that was scheduled to perform Sunday, last year, at the very last minute, they were supposed to, let me step back, they were supposed to perform at the city center. And a couple hours before, they were moved over to the community center, to the pavilion. Well, I didn't know we have a pavilion, and actually we don't. It's like a porch outside a little bathroom. It was a horrible setup. The ground was awful. There was mosquitoes. They were standing out there, not on a stage in, 100-degree, it was just awful. And they were promised they would, have a good spot next year. Well, guess what? They were scheduled to perform this past Sunday, and once again, they were displaced because of a festival that was taking place on city property. And these concerts are in the calendar, so they are scheduled in the fall, the year before. So these were on the city schedule back in probably October or November when the calendar was put on. And then this group was put into the atrium, which is not set up for an outdoor, band like this. And I just think that that is so unfair to do to the people that were coming to see them and the group itself. They were expecting to be outside playing to people, on the lawn, and they're inside this atrium. I just think that is, I don't know who's in charge of the schedule, but they didn't look at the city calendar apparently, because these were already booked entertainers, and it happened 2 years in a row. The exact same group, Mainstream Drive, and I'm well aware of them because the lead singer happens to be related to me through marriage, so I'm very aware of what's gone on. So we have to do a much better job. It may be a simple thing, but it wasn't to them, and it wasn't to the people that showed up to watch. I think someone said their neighbors came home and they were very, very disappointed, and there's a lot on social media about it, but somebody has to start looking at the calendar and coordinating some of these things. And it's also come up this last week about the encampments at 9 Mile, at the McDonald's at 9 Mile and Van Dyke. I think we haven't, Mr. Schroeder, do we? Yeah.
Yeah, we discussed this earlier in the week. Actually working with Ms. Michaels many years ago, the city passed it's called an anti-camping ordinance. So this has been on the books since February of 2002. I remembered this, looked it up, it's still on the books. So it's really illegal for any person to camp or use camp facilities, tents, huts, temporary shelters, camp paraphernalia, cots, beds, hammocks, tarps in any public area. Certainly, there's reasons why this came up many years ago. These issues tend to recycle over time. But this is on the books. There's certainly public sanitary reasons for it. I mean, we're aware of a situation of a local nonprofit we're suing that allowed camping, and apparently there was, people using the outdoors as a restroom, and it was very disgusting. But there's a reason for this being on the books, so certainly someone's doing this. I think the procedure back in the day was to issue like a warning, and certainly they could be ticketed and removed for this.
Because some of the businesses down in the area of 9 Mile and Van Dyke have been complaining about the people setting up camp, and in fact on some of our property, I think that little pocket park was a problem, that people were camping in there. So I just want people to be aware that we do have an ordinance against that, and I don't know who would enforce that, whether it's the police or the building department, but there are reasons for that, so that needs to be taken care of. I also, there's been a this happened in my neighborhood. There's only 6 houses on my street, and 3 cars were ticketed because they were parked blocking the sidewalk. I would remind all residents, you cannot park your car over the sidewalk. You will get a ticket if the police come down the street. There's reasons for that because it impedes the vision of the people next door. So keep that in mind. We don't want anybody to get ticketed for that. But, you know, try to keep your cars where they're supposed to be. And my neighbors were ticketed at 3 in the morning. So you know, you can't think you're going to get away with it in the middle of the night if you do it. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Any other responses?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Lafferty?
I'd like to point out a clarification that council did have a meeting the first week of July. It was not a secret meeting as it was categorized by a member of the audience this evening during audience participation. None of our meetings are secret. They're not held in secret. They were noticed according to the law, according to the Michigan Open Meetings Act, and it was pertinent to the wastewater treatment plant, and we had to vote to keep that project on track, on schedule, and we have responsibilities. Sometimes those responsibilities don't align with our established twice-monthly city council calendar. That's why we're here. We can meet in an emergency session if necessary. There are provisions for that. We can meet at the call of several council members requesting a special meeting. That's what we're here for. We're doing our job. But I take exception to the fact that the accusation was made. It is completely false. There was no secret meeting, and in fact, we voted today on the bonding because of that meeting. Again, a regularly scheduled meeting in public for everyone to see, and there's a record of that meeting. It's published on Vimeo. Anybody can watch it. There's absolutely nothing secret about it. Thank you.
Any other responses? Okay, next item, Madam Secretary.
Motion to adjourn.
Support Lafferty.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.